Hey guys, it's Scrappinkaty, and for day 6, we are switching it up a little bit, and we have a 2-page layout for Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches.
Here is a look at that day 6 sketch. Again, I promised you a 2-page layout, and here it is. So you've got 5 photo wells, but I'm probably going to be using more with use of flip flaps. And then you've just got a lot of strips of pattern paper, which is good for this because I'm going to be using
the very bright, colorful VIP Hip Hip Hooray kit that was exclusive to VIPs.
You can see the bright colors, but the photos I'm going to be using go perfect with these colors as well. So anytime I have bright, bold, busy papers, using them in little bitty strips is the way to go. And then you've also got stars. I'm probably going to be using something other than stars, but who knows? I love me a star or two every once in a while. And then I like the large title over here and then the journaling along the bottom. While I do like this, I'm not sure if I'm going to utilize that yet or not, so we will see. So I am going to get everything pre-cut and then we can get started. I am going to be using black cardstock bases, and I just think that it'll pop just a little bit more all these bright colors. So you can see I have all these strips of paper. I have 2 of each size because these strips, remember in the sketch, span the other page. And so I just cut them in various sizes. I'll leave the links down below in case you want to remake it. Again, these are just pure guesses at this point. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be just laying these down and gluing them. And because they're 12 inches, instead of trying to guess at, whether that one's going to be 11.5 and I need this one at 10, I like to just glue them down and then turn it over and then just cut off the edge. I've just got the sketch over here to the side and I'm just trying to look at those or look at it to see how these are set out. And then once I get that little rough done, then we can actually start gluing these. And I've even got a zip strip in there. I love zip strips. I'm not sure if y'all are on the zip strip wagon, but I definitely am. That appears to be what we're going with. And I'm going to pull out my Versamat when I glue these down just to make sure they're all straight.
So I pulled out my Versamat, and really this bottom one is the only one that I'm really paying attention to the left and the right, and then I'm just stacking them on top of each other, much like I did in that little rough. Now you can see here I'm kind of having trouble because those right side measurements are being hidden on my Versamat. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it at this point. Again, I am going to, in the next couple of days, I'm going to have a very new fun product on my table that will help me with this. I'm super excited to try it out and let you guys know what I think about it. Now is a good time to remind you to go ahead and hit that thumbs up button to let YouTube know that you liked what you saw here. That way it shows you more videos of the same, and it also helps me out. Again, if you're new to this channel, if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button and go ahead and sign up for notifications so you won't miss another crafty video and definitely won't miss the rest of this video series.
So I've got all those glued down. It was a little bit harder than I anticipated, so I will leave the length measurements as well. So also, because of all this blank black space, I have some of our gloss sprays that coordinate really well with these papers. So I'm going to add the splatters. If you recall on the sketch, there were splatters around those stars. And then, of course, those circle elements that I told you guys that I'm not going to do. So instead, I'm just going to add, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put this so it doesn't spill. I'm just going to add these gloss splatters. And, keep in mind that this layout has quite a bit of photos. And so a lot of this is going to be hidden. So I want to keep to the edges and then, of course, the top. And then I also want to do it over here on this layout. So the only thing that angers me about splattering is it's kind of like doing your hair. You know how you can always do one side of your hair a whole lot better than the other? That is usually how it works with 2-page layouts. So here's a look at the right. Obviously a whole lot more splatter than what I really intended. And then here's a look at the left. So not equal, but I'm hoping once I get the bulk of the photos on there, it'll just kind of blend in. So I'm going to remove these and then clean up my workstation, and then we can come back and get those photos laid down. While that's drying, we're going to work on our photos. So the left layout is pretty simple. There it is. Instead of doing the photos separately matted, I just matted them on a white daisy piece of cardstock and then matted it on an avocado piece of cardstock. The ones over here for the right are a little bit, there's more photos. So I'm going to be using flip flaps. So not sure how many of you are familiar with flip flaps, but there's definitely a little bit of a science to it, and there's definitely different ways you can do it. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it and I prefer. And then I'll also leave a link down below on how I cut my memory protectors. So the photos I want to glue down to the base are the ones that I want people to see after the fact. So after they flip up. So these photos are going to be the ones that they see on the original layout. So in order to do that, I like to attach my flip flaps to my layout base and then cut my memory protector. It's just a whole lot neater. Even though this little glue strip is see-through, you still can see it if you attach it to the memory protector itself. And to me, it just kind of takes away from the photo. So I have these 4x4 memory protectors, and you want the glue strip, the backing, facing you because you want to fold it over to where the glue will now be on the bottom. So I have my prepared piece of cardstock, and I am going to go ahead and glue down these photos that are actually going to be after you flip the flip flaps. And the only reason I'm doing it this way is because my flip flaps, I'm using so many right together. And they are 4x4. So they're actually going to go behind this cardstock piece and be glued directly down to the black base. So we are going to peel this one back, and we're going to have flip flaps going all kinds of ways here. So this top one is going to basically sit on top of this. And I am going to just make sure my cardstock photo well is straight. And then that way, this flip flap is now glued to the base. For this one, we are going to have it flip like this. Again, I want to make sure my cardstock is straight, and this is too. And now that's glued to the base. So right now we've got one coming out this way, one coming up this way. And then on this one, we're going to come out this way. I'm going to peel back this backing and then get it make sure it's straight. And basically I'm just looking at these little marks down here. Now I can take this out, and I can take my bone folder and really make sure that these are secure. I'll leave a link down below linking to a video I have on how to cut your memory protector. Again, see how this is, it's clear, but you can definitely see where it's at. So that's why I don't like it on top of my memory protectors. I just think my photos usually span the entire photo. You know, so like if I had that one on top, it would take away from that sunset right there. So do not want to do that. So now we can adhere this down. Okay, so I've got those extra photos in there, and we are going to go back to the beginning. Sorry I had to do that a little bit backwards, but we're going to go back to the beginning and then start embellishing this one. Now, anytime you have a 2-page layout and you need elements lined up, you need to bring that layout back in. So I'm going to do that for this photo well. And I'm going to get this adhered down. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of getting the galaxy feel from this layout in this paper collection. I'm sure it's just because of the black base and the splatters. But okay, so we've got that. And then I'm going to pull out the sticker sheet. So on this photo, I tried to have the photos looking in. You can see here that even though he is, you know, kind of straight, I'm looking that way. So in this blank space, I need something that'll anchor that side. There's lots of good stickers on here that can do that. Of course, I love This Is My Happy Place, because here in Texas, floating the river is definitely something that I love to do. It's just so relaxing. Of course, you know, the Texas summers can get hot, so it's just something that we enjoy doing, no matter who we're with. The only downfall to putting it there is I cover up so much of that, but we'll see. We'll just kind of tack that there, and then Good Times. Need to be careful because these stickers are really sticky. Really sticky. And so if I don't want it there, then it's hard to pull back up. You and Me. Pretty sure I'm going to put that there, so I'm going to go ahead and tack that down. Okay, so I like all the placement of these. So I'm going to go ahead and re-add the sticky. And I love how, like not on purpose, how these photos just match this VIP collection. You know, we've got a shirt that's kind of the orange color. Of course, we got all those floats behind us that definitely match. I think I'm going to do this. And then we've got the camera, the adorable little camera. I'm not sure about the hearts yet. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to do the hearts. And then I've got these little arrows right here. So I do think I'm going to bring the orange over and bring the blue up here. I'm only going to do 2. Now we can bring in the right side. So on this big white space, I originally was going to leave it white, but the sticker I'm going to use, the background is really white. It's a title, but it's got a lot of white space. So I am going to just put this pattern paper down. I chose that one because it just, I don't know, just kind of goes with the layout a little bit more. Here is the stick. I'm not going to take the backing off of the 3D foam tape just yet. I'm going to leave that there just to make sure. I don't need to tuck anything under. And let's see what other stickers I can add. I'm going to add Love This. It's another thing I love about our flip flaps is you can actually decorate them. And then let me just take the sticky off at the top of this sticker. And I want to bring over these as well, but I don't know where. Logic would tell you to put them in the exact same spot. I'm just looking over here at that other one just to kind of see what we're working with. So I've got that. I've still got these hearts. So I'm thinking they might go somewhere like that. So let's go ahead, take the backing off. Did you know you don't have to take the backing off of everything? Because it's still going to stick. So a lot of times I just take the backing off the majority of them. Sometimes I leave the middle, sometimes I leave the ends. And this one I'm going to double it up just to make sure it doesn't look stressed. Okay, and I think that's it. The only other thing I'm going to do is on these that don't have, see how this one has a picture? On these that don't have pictures, I pulled out some PML cards from the Cake Day collection. The colors match, so I'm going to cut this down to 4x4, and I'm going to use that on those opposite sides. Just need to make sure they are the same. And that's kind of cool because I've got the orange and the orange. So this is a Project Life card. I have a stash of them that I keep and sometimes I like to use. So I'm actually going to use that. I don't like the rounded edges, so I'm just making sure that I've cut those off. And then I can journal on the little lines that are provided. So let me bring back in both layouts and the sketch. So there are a look at the two layouts. Hope you can see them all. And here is the sketch. So you can see I strayed away from the star clusters, but I definitely used other clusters. I did not do the circles, which I told you I probably wouldn't. My title over here, The Good Life. And then I didn't do the journaling, but I think I added, you know, little sub-journaling, and then I'll have the hidden journaling on this flap over here. So that is it. I'm glad I've got these photos documented. These are some of the photos that I print on a monthly basis with Persnickety Box. I'll leave a link down to it below as well. So it's basically a subscription. You pay a flat fee every month, and then you get to go choose 30 photos, and they print them, and then they come straight to your door. So I love that. It makes me actually print my photos, and then I have them to scrapbook. I'll leave links down below to all the other YouTube channels who are playing along, as well as any of the links to the products that I used if they're still available. And then don't forget to hit that like button. It lets YouTube know that you liked what you saw, so it shows you more videos of the same. It also helps me out. And then if you want to leave a comment, I love to read all your comments and your love and how inspired you are, or even tips and tricks, something that you would do different. And then as always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching.